A Tzu Chi volunteer whose mother has dementia cares for other elderly people in the community. 7 people have been reported as being injured after an earthquake struck Eastern Taiwan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteer Shen Xiuhua has been caring for seniors in the Yichang Community in Hualien. All of the seniors like her very much, and they're grateful for everything she has done. However, Shen Xiuhua's mother suffers from dementia, and she couldn't go outside. After seeing her mother suffering from this disease, she does not want other seniors to stay home all day. Therefore, she started to go into the community to care for elderly people.
An Dong Dong 对，嘿，哦，太喜欢了，每天就在等待。
每个礼拜都来？
有啊，我很少缺席，很少。
感谢你们照顾，
谢谢你捐出来做
赞助，
那就是捐出来做善事。
对，
那这个是小朋友给你的压岁钱。
对，
我帮你把它捐出去。
If we didn't come here, don't worry about us. We're very healthy. Thank you for your care.
This morning, I just called her son. I asked him how come his parents did not come here since the New Year. Are they busy or if they're not feeling well? I told him if there is a problem, we will come and take a look. Then her son replied that both of them are healthy and they have been busy these days. I guess Grandma Wu heard us, so she paid us a visit today.
谢谢你了，照顾我们了，你很用心呐。
She gets along with everyone really well. She treats every elder like her family members. For her, the seniors are like her own mother.
自己的妈妈失智，自己的妈妈失智。
My mother suffers from dementia. Yes, it's my own mother. This is why I'm very sad. She's in the later stages of dementia, which is severe. Inside her subconscious mind, she still remembers who I am, but the disease has already affected her daily life, such as eating and dressing. Someone needs to help her with activities associated with daily living. I'm very close to my mom. We talked a lot. Our monthly phone bill can go up to $65 to $97. After she was sick, we don't talk that much anymore. Every time I go back home and tell her something, she couldn't respond me. She just kept staring at me. Then we wanted to take her outside to get some fresh air. She didn't want to go. At that moment, you really feel sad. I don't like to see other families who face the same situation as me. I don't want the seniors to stay in their homes and wouldn't come out. I don't want them to end up like my mother as well. This is why I'm serving as a volunteer over here. No matter in which city or community, as long as I'm able to help the seniors, I will feel that my work is all worth it. I'm grateful for my mother because she's the reason why I'm here to look after these seniors.
因为妈妈的原因让我 很愿意付出。她在去年的时候
She died last year. These are her things. Grandma Zhong, it's me, Xiuhua. Today, me and Xiufen came to visit you. We're here to take pictures of your works, showing them to everybody.
Looking at these, they are very precious. I've collected all of her works. I didn't know my mother had created so many works. I didn't have any clue at all. Usually she is shy in front of us.
真的哦。可是你有没有看到这个影片？这个没有。没有。哎，我自己，你看，我是最好的北京。
之前他的世界就是田里，还有就是跟家里这样子。
Before attending the classes, she would only be at the field or at home. After joining the classes, she started to make lots of friends, and she will come back and told us what she learned, what the teacher had taught her, and more. She really liked the volunteer Xiuhua. She would listen to her, in which it made us a little jealous. We can see her smiling a lot at home as well. She became much happier. I hope more and more people will join the classes. I wish more seniors in the communities can walk outside and participate in activities to become more active.
There's a Chinese ink painter who teaches seniors in a long-term care center. He spent 25 years in jail where he learned this painting skill. His mother passed away 3 years before he was released, and his father suffered from dementia. He has cared for his father until the last moment. Now he hopes to make up for his checkered past by serving seniors in the community.
The Chinese ink painting teacher Yang Yi teaches seniors in the long-term care center to paint, and he respects them like his own parents. These seniors feel accomplished when they paint flowers and fishes on a hat.
像我的小孩子一样，因为我小孩子也50岁了，大的啊。我妈妈嘞，对呀。你想要这么活泼吗？是没有这么活泼啊，可是他来，我们大家都很高兴。
Yang Yi enjoys being with these seniors because when he lost his mother, he was serving time in jail.
After my mother passed away, I thought my life fell apart and I didn't know what to do. I kept thinking what I should do for the future, and that's when I finally woke up.
He was in jail for 25 years, and his mother passed away 3 years before he was released. After he's out, his father suffered dementia, and he had been devoting to care for him.
I told him that it's my duty to care for you, so you shouldn't be embarrassed. I bathe him every day because I never bathed my mother in the past. It's a blessing that I can bathe him. I thank him for being with me for 3 more years.
His parents' passing has changed him from misbehaving to serving society with his talent. For over 3 years, he has been teaching seniors to paint in remote villages and this long-term care center. At first, many elderly thought he wouldn't persist.
At first, we thought that he won't be here for long. However, after all these years, he has dedicated so much to the community, and it's wonderful.
Yang Yi's best wish is that these seniors won't suffer dementia like his father. Now he hopes to make up for the past by serving seniors in the community.
A Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteer used to take care of her mother, who suffered from dementia. Before becoming a Tzu Chi volunteer, she used to think her life was really miserable. So she made a selfish decision and left her mother in the care of others. Later, she regretted her decision. After joining Tzu Chi, she also learned to cherish her blessings.
In fact, my whole family is Buddhist. However, we only go worship at a monastery. We don't really have a deep understanding of the meanings in various sutras. The Buddha's teachings is actually to go into the crowd and see other people's sufferings and count your own blessings.
佛陀的教义就教我们走入人群，艰苦之福。
Before, I used to always feel like I was so miserable. It was all due to money and my relationships with family members. We would always get upset over this subject, because back then we were much more materialistic. Not like now, being in Tzu Chi, money isn't all that important anymore. Before, if I didn't have enough money, it felt like I had no sense of security. After entering into the Tzu Chi world, I learned that as long as you have enough money to use and to eat, the extra money left can also go help other people who need it.
如果有多余的钱呢，还可以去布施。
在他灭祖之前，我阿姨跟我讲，不然我说妈妈去。
Before my mother passed away, my aunt told me that it wasn't a good idea to send her to a nursing home. She said that if you send her there, she will pass away quicker. However, at that time, I was only thinking of myself. I didn't want to live that kind of life anymore, so I selfishly told my siblings that I wasn't going to stay at home anymore. I'm going to go out and work. Thinking back to when we were little, my mom was one person, taking care of all 5 of us. And now all 5 of us can't even take care of just her alone. We sent her to a nursing home. It's true, we cannot wait to be filial. If I can redo all of this again, I would stay home and not go out to work. I will wholeheartedly dedicate myself to taking care of my mother. Why, you ask? Because if I knew this was going to be the end result, I would have never made that initial decision. I regret it so much.
其实妈妈的教育是可以帮助别人是更好啦，也不要去
In fact, my mother has always taught us that it's better to be able to help others. Do not purposely hurt others and do not hate on other people either. She used to always say, if someone says something bad about me in front of you, do not tell me about it, because this way I will end up losing a friend. These were the precious values that my mother passed down to us. Now I dedicate a lot of my time in doing Tzu Chi's work, so I don't have a lot of extra time to think about the negative things. In turn, a lot of my worries have lessened.
Simona graduated from Tzu Chi La Romana School in 2006. In that year, her mother developed cancer. She considered giving up her studies to care for her mother. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers provided a helping hand and a subsidy. She was able to graduate from college. Although she and her mother are not rich, they're committed to serving as volunteers.
Cuando hay la necesidad de que nunca es demasiado.
If you have to help people, even if they are poor and can't pay, this is what my mother said, and what I experienced at Tzu Chi is no matter how poor you are, you can always find a way to help people.
This blue sheet metal house has one bedroom and one living room. It is simply furnished and is home for Simona. A 1-year-old son is just learning to walk, and still he knows the importance of helping others. He gets the shoes for his father, who is about to leave the house. Simona's face conveys great happiness. She believes she must be most grateful for encountering Tzu Chi.
Para mí fue algo muy importante, muy.
It's really special and important to me because Tzu Chi appeared when I needed it the most in my life. At that time, my mother started to get sick. My mom is also a single mother with no work. I was planning to finish my basic education, but I didn't even have the fee for transportation. But Tzu Chi appeared at that time, and everything for me started from that time.
In 2006, Simona graduated from the Tzu Chi Elementary School. Her mother developed breast cancer the same year. Volunteers decided to subsidize her transportation expenses so she could go to high school and later attend her high school graduation ceremony.
Uno ve a diario, un ejemplo, niñas que estudian conmigo que.
Sometimes I would see other elementary school classmates. If I didn't continue my studies, I could be as bad as them or even worse off than them.
Ella es Simona. Sí.
Her mother lives opposite her, and on the wall of her house are the graduation photos of her children.
Todos somos de Tzu Chi.
We are students of Tzu Chi. Some are Tzu Chi adult education classes, and some are Tzu Chi elementary school.
She is proud of her children's ability to complete their studies. As a single mother who suffers from cancer and poverty, she always insisted her children go to school. She even completed her own adult education classes.
Bueno, para nosotros Tzu Chi ha sido una bendición en esta comunidad, porque
Tzu Chi is a blessing for us in the community because we didn't have a school at that time until this group came. Not only our home, but the entire community. If we speak for ourselves, it's very blessed.
To pay back this blessing, whenever there is a Tzu Chi event, both this mother and daughter attend. They often prepare hot food as Simona is an important helper.
que me siento súper agradecida de Tzu Chi.
I'm very grateful to Tzu Chi. As long as Tzu Chi needs me, I can help at any time. The door of my house is always open for Tzu Chi.
Even if the mother's cancer recurs and she becomes weakened, her strong will allow her to participate in both hot food distributions and free dental clinics.
A veces me canso porque uno cuando está ya en esos procesos hay momentos que uno se cansa.
I'm undergoing chemotherapy and at times it makes me feel tired. As soon as I get some rest, I'm able to move around. What motivates me? I think it is because I've studied that giving is actually a blessing.
In order to take care of her son, Simona left her job. Her mother's shop is seldom open, allowing her to rest. Although they are still very poor, this family feels blessed and very happy as part of the Tzu Chi family.
A magnitude 6.1 earthquake struck Hualien on April 18th. 2 people were injured by falling rocks in Taroko and were airlifted to Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital for treatment. There were other people with minor injuries, and they had gone to the hospital themselves for treatment. Here's our report.
At 1:01 p.m., a 6.1 earthquake occurred in Hualien.
At the beginning, we heard a noise coming from the ground. It was very loud. Then the siren came, and at the same time, it began to shake very badly.
2 people were injured by the fallen rocks at Taroko Park and were airlifted to Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. One is a woman from New Taipei City. When she arrived at the hospital, she was conscious. She suffered from facial wounds and broken ribs. The other patient is a 40-year-old Chinese from Malaysia. He was not breathing when he arrived, but fortunately he started to breathe again after receiving CPR.
Mr. Zhu from Malaysia suffered mainly on his chest and back. He had multiple broken ribs, which caused pneumothorax and pneumothorax. There were also fractures on the thoracic vertebrae. He's being treated with tube insertion on both sides of his chest. His condition is now stable.
On the other hand, the Tzu Chi Senior High School followed their practice and went to the playground for safety. After the teachers had a check on all the students, they sat down and prayed for everyone.
The tremor was extremely large, but because we have rehearsals all the time, so we weren't very scared. We quickly kneeled down and stayed next to our tables.
The earthquake was major 5 in Hualien City, so the stores are littered with their fallen items. Fortunately, there are no injuries. As people are cleaning up, they hope to reopen their stores as soon as possible.
In Mozambique, the Tzu Chi disaster relief team continues to assess the cyclone damages as well as helping the affected residents. This time, volunteers have arrived at Tika village. Over there, the volunteers saw a family with over 10 members living in a tent.
This house used to be for one person, but it had collapsed. All is left is ruins.
The dirt pile in front of the villagers was once their home. After the disaster, this big family had to squeeze themselves into this makeshift tent. It's dark, small, and smelly. In addition, it was made of black plastic bags and thin lumbers, in which the volunteers were shocked when they saw it. We can also see broken tiles and rocks on their roof. As for others who are better off, use anything they can find to build a house.
They didn't have wires, but they were creative. They cut the mosquito nets into stripes and used them to tie the bamboos together.
Since the volunteers' arrival, this little girl Beatrice seems defensive. Her mother has to work elsewhere, so she must take care of her younger brother. She kept a distance from the volunteers because she wanted to protect herself. As the team goes deeper into the disaster sites, they realize that the residents are still desperate for help.
Tainan City volunteer Shen Xiuhua does not have a good marriage. After her second son was born, he had a fever which caused injuries to his brain. Fortunately, Xie's sister accompanied her and she eventually joined Tzu Chi. Now people volunteer at the recycling spot at her home. Therefore, Xie is living a fulfilling life.
Struggling to open his fingers to mix the potting soil, he is already sweating in just a few minutes. Fortunately, a pair of warm hands showed up. Lin Jiade is Shen Xiuhua's second son. After he was born, he suffered from a constant fever, which injured his brain.
He couldn't walk and he continued to see doctors until the age of 7. I wish he could walk, bath, and eat by himself. Eventually, my wish came true.
All the plants at this corner was planted by Lin Jiade. These different succulent plants are very therapeutic, but what is the real healing power to him is doing Tzu Chi work.
Doing recycling, praying for the deceased, visiting needy people, and caring for society. All these work makes me feel that I'm still useful.
Shen Xiuhua started taking her son to collect recyclables 20 years ago. Then she set up a recycling spot at her home. Volunteers went there to sort recyclables and also witness how the mother and the son changed.
It was tough. She was mindful.
Besides doing Tzu Chi work, Lin Jiade has also found his interest in gardening. He and his mother are content with their lives now and also feel blessed.
Tzu Chi care recipient Ms. Lin was injured in a car accident, and since then she has mobility problems. She couldn't clean her home either. Some time ago, Tzu Chi volunteers came to fix pipes and wiring at her home and noticed that her home required a major cleanup. Therefore, more than 10 Tzu Chi volunteers came the following day to clean up her house.
脏的地方我们帮你打扫干净就好。好，因为哥哥说这个房子是大家共有的哈，怕麻烦。
With permission from Ms. Lin, Tzu Chi volunteers start a major cleanup.
I feel lightheaded when I walk, and my legs are weak. My hands and feet have become stiff. After I became this way, I can't clean up my home.
Ms. Lin had a car accident 3 years ago, so she doesn't want to see her house in this condition, but she can't help it. One day, Tzu Chi volunteers came to install pipes, wiring, and a water heater, and on the following day, they came again.
Her living condition is really damaging her health, so we felt we should come and help her.
This family doesn't live many people, and the care recipient also suffers from pain, so I feel I should offer my strength and do what we can to help her.
11 volunteers do thorough cleanup in the kitchen, bathroom, washroom, and the living room. The volunteers spend close to 3 hours on their work, and it touches Ms. Lin.
I want to thank all the volunteers for sacrificing their holidays and helping me clean up my house. I also hope to get well soon, so someday I have the ability to help other people.
The volunteers also give Ms. Lin daily supplies and their well wishes. They hope Ms. Lin will be able to walk on the Bodhisattva path with them.
In the aftermath of tornado in Texas, Tzu Chi volunteers have gone there to assess damages. They plan to hold aid distribution soon to help the affected residents. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.